John Bentley.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Technical difficulties, like my guy Matt Owen just said, man. For some reason now, since I got subscribers, thanks to all of you who tune into my channel, YouTube hates when I try to go live. It blocks me, it kicks me out. YouTube is going crazy, but it is what it is. We are going to make things work, man. But I appreciate all the support, man. I appreciate all the subscribers, man. This channel has grown tremendously, man. And I cannot thank each and every one of you guys enough, man. Without your support, without everything that you guys bring, support me, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Reddit, whether it's supporting the channel. You know, I deeply want to appreciate you guys, man. So like I said, I do this for you guys, man. So what I want to dive in tonight, fam, is I wanted to address this draft with a clear-eye view, right? Swipe, right? I wanted to address this draft, and I know for the past few weeks there's been a lot of emotion going on amongst Cowboys Nation, a lot of toxic vibes comes on, but we're at the point, y'all. Of course, it's scheduled release eve. You know what I'm saying? So, what I want to do right now is really just relax, take a deep breath, and dive into this draft and really get to see how these players are going to fit Dan Quinn's scheme and what we're trying to accomplish here in Dallas. Because here we are, y'all. Like, there's no turning back. There's no read. It's not like a mock draft we've been doing where we can hit the reset button and start over. It is what it is. We are now set. So it's really now time just to decompress, dive into these plays. So what I'm going to do tonight, y'all, I'm not gonna consider off the field issues. I'm not gonna consider all the outside things. I'm just gonna focus on strictly from a scheme perspective, and then also just the player to how they fit. Because ultimately, what we're all trying to accomplish here on my channel and other channels that you guys see me on is win that 6th championship. And so these draft picks that we brought in, a few weeks ago, they're here to do that and fix the damn defense, man. But first of all, I want to holler at everyone in the chat, man. Shout out to my guy, Professor O, man. Appreciate you, bro. Ransacks Cowboys, what's up, bro? Mendoza in the house, was good. Mark Cantor, yeah, here we are, bro. Technical difficulties, man. I don't know. YouTube's hating me right now. My guy, Nick's in the house, man. Shout out to Stargate. And I'll say this, y'all. So now, officially thanks to your support, we're able to get monetized. And so the other night when Nix and O and Spoonie were going on for 12 hours on a Monday night, we got our first super chat, man. I want to say appreciate y'all for the super chat, even though I wasn't even a part of it. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. So let's go ahead and get things started. Now, I want to do this. Now, granted, today I have a lot of sharp people sitting here in the chat, man. You guys know your stuff. I mean, so it pretty much is what it is at this point. But for a lot of newcomers who watch my channel and other channels as well, they say, man, Tuck, I like the draft. I like all your content. You guys, Spoon, Nix, you guys are fun, Mariella. But sometimes you guys are talking over my head, and I really don't understand what the hell you guys are talking about. But it sounds good, so I just roll with it. So what I want to do is kind of simply explain things. And I know from my standpoint personally, I'm a visual learner. And so what I want to do is kind of just get the concept out to some of you guys who might be new to football, or you might just kind of be casual and really don't watch football that much, but you kind of want to understand what things are coming about. So when we're talking about, a 5 technique or a nose tackle, or we're talking about a 4-2-5, or we're talking about a big nickel, and all these different concepts, a lot of people are just like, bro, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to kind of quickly do is kind of break things down visually. So if you're a new learner, or you maybe just kind of understand what we're talking about, you can grasp the concept or seeing what Dan Quinn's trying to accomplish. And so that way, when we're starting to plug in some of these pieces, you're like, oh, okay. And then also, it's always good to educate yourself, right? So when you're on Twitter, you got Mr. Random Cowboys Fan 529 talking about D-Law sucks, he can't do this. You can say, well, actually, in this play, D-Law did exactly what the hell he was supposed to do. So it's always good to increase your football knowledge. And who knows, this summer we might dive into some more football concepts if you guys enjoy it. But I want to kind of give a quick visual. So let's dive into it quickly. So as we've spoken about so frequently, whether it's on the Star Gang podcast show with my guys Nick, Spoonie, and Mariella as well, we talked about a nickel formation. Now, for the most part, right, you got me here in the news, 3-4 base, 4-3 hybrid type of ordeal. Now, we kind of did a effed up portion of that last year, but for the most part, we are going to be in 2 linebacker sets, right? And what a nickel really, right? You have a nickel? 5. I got 5 on it. Nickel means you're going to have 5 DBs on the field. And the reason why is because a lot of teams want 11 personnel. So what 11 means, 1 tight end, 1 running back, and you have 3 wide receivers. Now, why we were so heavy on the pitch train, because what 11 personnel does, it keeps you off balance. Because you could take this tight end, and now he comes a receiver, and you have a But we're not going to talk about that. But that's what we're kind of getting into, open up different run lanes. So from the concept of a nickel formation of 4-2-5, you're going to have your defensive end. So as right now, currently, that would probably be Randy Gregory, right? You have your defensive tackles, whether that can be Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, Brent Urban, also the same side with the D tackle. Now, this is a 0 tech. This is the nose position. This is a 1. So as my guy Professor O explains, you have the 0, the 1, the 2, the 3, and so on. We'll get to that, but it's not what this is really about. I just want to kind of get you guys a visual concept. So defensive tackle, and then DeMarcus Lawrence. Then you have your middle linebacker, who we'll talk about here soon. You also have your Sam linebacker. So when we say Sam linebacker, what we're talking about, y'all, is the strong side linebacker, right? And why is this the strong side? Because they have a tight end over here. Like, some of you guys got to play Madden, right? But strong side. So that's why we call him the Sam. We call him the Mike for the middle, and then the Will is the weak side linebacker, right? You have your 2 outside corners here, which will probably be Diggs, and then our new corner that we just brought in here we'll speak about. And then you have your slot or your nickel corner as well. And then also your free safety and your strong safety. So that's primarily what you guys are going to see here in Dallas. So what I wanted to kind of do is like bring that concept up. So that way you can say, okay, well, this is where so-and-so is going to play. And this is where the other person is going to play. So that way you visually kind of have, what's happening. So we'll go back to that. But if you have any questions, hit me in the chat, right? And so the very first pick, right? We traded back. You guys watched the draft show. Shouts out to everyone who tuned in for the draft show, right? Micah Parsons out of Penn State. Now, here's the thing. I just had to explain this a second ago, right? Because, everyone saw my reaction video, and I appreciate everyone who watched the reaction videos now, like at 25,000 views or whatnot. And everyone was like saying, ha ha, you didn't want Micah Parsons, ha ha, you shouldn't have showed that reaction, right? That wasn't the case, y'all, when it comes to Micah Parsons. If you follow my channel or you follow, me on Twitter, I was very high on Micah Parsons. I was just saying, why isn't no one speaking about Micah Parsons? And when my reaction was, it's like, bro, he was right there. It was like a duh moment. It wasn't like, I hate this. Now, we'll get into that. Day 2 was kind of that more of a reaction. But for the most part, once the 2 corners were off the board, once J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain, I knew it had to come down between either Rashawn Slater or Micah Parsons, y'all. Period. Those were my only 2 options because I feel like if we tried to get too cute, we would have fumbled it. So that's why I was saying, okay, well, Slater, they'll go with Slater. They'll go with Slater because of the offensive line injuries that we had last year. I mean, duh. So you want to kind of get, your left tackle position taken care of or your right tackle position. Now, I saw the video of Lyle Collins. I saw Lyle Collins' abs today, bro. I saw Lyle Collins' abs. So he looks in shape, but we'll see. You never know until they get in the grits of the season. So we took Micah Parsons at 12. And just like I said on previous videos prior, on Twitter when everyone was trying to fry your boy, if you want someone who's a complete game disruptor that can change the course of the game defensively, Micah Parsons is that guy, period. If you want to kind of get your Chase Youngish type player. Now, granted, I wouldn't took him as early as Chase Young was drafted, but if anyone's going to give us that opportunity, it was going to be Micah Parsons, period. So I wasn't upset about the pick. I wasn't, frustrated. I was just like, bruh. And like I always said, like, imagine if I'm looking for my cell phone and I'm tearing up the house looking for my cell phone. And so the entire time, it's right there in my damn pocket. I felt stupid when we picked Micah Parsons because I knew better. I knew he had to be in consideration, just like my guy Nix was saying. Who is the one guy that we're speaking about that we haven't, saying there hasn't been any videos released? It's kind of been quiet in the house. It was Micah Parsons. So what Micah Parsons definitely brings to this team is attitude, toughness, speed, tenacity, and like I've been saying, I feel like he is going to be the spark plug for this rookie core that we're seeing right here. I mean, when you think about what Micah Parsons really brings to this team, he's a very dynamic player. Like, Micah Parsons, bro, like, he is very disruptive, and you can play him in multiple positions. If you want to play him, outside, whether it's the will linebacker that we spoke about earlier, whether it's the strong side. Now, personally, y'all, I don't think that he's ready yet to be a middle linebacker. I know we spoke about that last night on my guy Sid's show. I don't think he's ready to be a middle linebacker yet, all right? But I think he can often grow into that position, once Dan Quinn starts to put him into different, schemes and different things like that. I think that he can grow into the middle linebacker position. But as of right now, I would like to see Micah Parsons just using his instinct and doing what he does best, right? doing what he does best, that's coming forward, attacking the running backs, attacking the quarterback. He is probably going to have, y'all, if I had to bet, and let's say the over and under was 6 sacks for Micah Parsons, I would take the over on that. I would probably think he would probably be around 8 to 9 sacks next year, to be honest. If Dan Quinn uses him properly, I can see around 8 to 9 sacks out of Micah Parsons out of his rookie campaign, because he brings that type of, skill set to the Dallas Cowboys defense, which we desperately need. Now, I want to go back to this, right? I want to go back to, the sheet here, right? Let's look at it, right? So, on passing downs, right? When we go into this nickel formation, where does Micah Parsons fit? And as I was doing this, and I hit up Spoon and hit up Nick, I was like, bro, that linebacker room is getting awfully tight. There's a lot of elbow room starting to, shrink a little bit, right? You have the option. I don't think he's going to play the middle linebacker. I'm not sure if you guys can see my cursor or not. I'm not sure if he plays the middle linebacker. I think he'll play the strong side linebacker, which is the Sam, or possibly he can play defensive end, right? And kind of be that off the edge rusher. Now, when people think defensive end, often they think hand in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Typically with Micah Parsons, he can put his hand in the dirt. That's not his forte. He can stand up. So you might see him as a stand-up in some occasions, but also playing the Sam linebacker position. I don't think that, he'll play middle linebacker out the gate. But if we go back to our 3-4 conversation, we'll talk about that later. I think that's where you're really going to see Micah Parsons really evolve, whether it's a 3-4 or the 4-3. And so, I think Micah Parsons is a dynamic player. I'm perfectly okay with that pick. I know some people were kind of like, I hated it. I never hated the pick, y'all. I was perfectly fine with it, and it is what it is. So I think he's going to bring something to our defense, which I'm excited about. Now, this day 2 pick. Different story. All right. So, like I said, if you really are tuned in, if you really Star Gang, CFO Gang, then you know my sentiments when it comes to this pick, right? And when it comes to Kelvin Joseph, I know I've been personally hard on this kid because, one, you got to give kids the opportunity to grow, right? You got to give them a chance to grow, different things like that. Maybe he's going to evolve into a decent person, young man, and I can trust him a little bit more. It was all about trust. But when I just take that out the way, right? And I really want to just focus on who Kelvin Joseph is as a football player. I don't hate this kid, y'all. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. What's up, Mark? I don't hate him. What's up, Moving the Chains? I do not hate him. He was rated number 44 on my big board if you watch my video before the draft came out. So I had him in the scope. We had him ranked 44. He was drafted the 44th pick. So take out of consideration what was already there, just focusing on Kelvin Joseph, the football player. I feel like he's going to be decent. Is he going to be ready for Tom Brady and Mike Evans, Antonio Brown and Godwin? And okay, maybe not ready, day one ready. And that's my biggest concern. And that's why I've been beating the table to get a veteran corner, y'all, because if it come out the gate with Tampa, whew, I think that's going to be a little too much for this kid, but it's an opportunity for him to go through the learning pains and growing pains. So if you're just looking at Kelvin Joseph, the football player, he brings athleticism, right? He's not 6'1". I repeat, he's not 6'1". He's not 6'1". So everyone was like, oh, he's much taller than Asante Samuel Jr. He's not 6'1". He's like 5'11". All right, that's cool, but he's fast. He has some tenacity, some toughness, some grit. Now, my concern with him is, one, there's not a lot of film on him because you think about it from his time at LSU before whatever happened at LSU. We're not going to talk about that. From him playing Kentucky, and he opted out the last 2 games of the season, you're really looking at maybe 15 games tops in the SEC. And I know that some of these Eagle fans, when I went on the Eagle channel, they kind of just picked off what I said, but I had to be true, y'all. Y'all know me. I just like this whole he locked down Devontae Smith thing. It was only like 3 targets. Mac Jones underthrew a pass and it was a pick. And, so it wasn't like he was just traveling with Devontae Smith completely shutting down stuff. But I will say this, in Dan Quinn's scheme, what he's going to be required to do, whether it's a cover 3, or you heard Mike McCarthy say we're looking to play a lot more man coverage, which we might play a single high safety. Here I go talking. So if I need to slow down in the chat, tell me. But I know a lot of people in chat, y'all know what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to slow down. But we might play like a single cover 3, like robber and man press, where we have DeMonte KZ over the top, and then you have your strong safety and Donovan Wilson kind of hovering through the middle, and then you have your outside corners playing man press. So I think that's where Kelvin Joseph really is going to shine. I think that it's going to be a project, and we really won't see him turn the corner until possibly after the midseason. I highly doubt this kid comes in and day one sets things on fire. But like I said, it's there. It's just, can he keep the focus football-wise, and can he continue to grow and continue to remain invested? That was always my knock on Kelvin Joseph, and also his attitude, and also his competitor. But just looking at him as a pure football player, he has what you need. It's just going to be a growing process, and I think that's what scares a lot of Cowboys fans, is the growing process. Because we only got Diggs, he's a second-year guy. He's still growing his damn self. You have Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown, and then you have Kelvin Joseph. I'm not calling him that rap name. I'm a grown man. I'm not calling him your rap name. But so that's where we really are with it. So that's where I kind of want to say that. But I feel like he has the upside. He has the potential. And once he starts to grasp things, if he's fully locked in, okay, it'll be there. But day one, I don't see, man. I'm gonna hop in the chat, man. My guy Mark Cantor says, "Get the popcorn, y'all." No, I'm cool, man. I'm cool on Kelvin Joseph. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he's got to kind of block what you see visually and just kind of go with the flow. Like I said, you can't return anything right now. My guy Matt Owen says, Tucky should have had Samuel Jr. at 44 instead. Yeah, man. I put him way too high. I put him way too high. Yeah, my guy Nick's need that vet ASAP. Yeah, I think that a vet would help me. But at this point, like we spoke about last night, bro, the cupboard's bare. The cupboard's hella dry. You know, I think I just saw Richard Sherman's going to go back to San Francisco, possibly for a cheap ass deal. We missed out, man. We missed out on these veteran corners. So at this point, I'm not sure what we can do. I think Poole's pretty much the only name where I can feel like, all right, we got something there. I feel like anything else would kind of be a reach. Let's see. North of the Star said, I love that pick. After getting wiped at cornerback, he was a big boomer bust play and finding a guy who can follow the quick guys, win now, move. Yeah, I think that's what it was. We got wiped out. Now, I talked to a few people in-house, and of course I won't reveal, who they are, but I will say this, y'all, he wasn't high on the Cowboys list. There was like 3 other corners that the Cowboys were focusing on, but they got wiped out earlier. And they got wiped out a lot earlier than I expected. So I think that's why they had to go with Kelvin Joseph, because at that point, if we would have passed on Kelvin Joseph and Asante Samuel, even though I was very high on JOK, just getting both the linebackers, let's just get nasty and just figure it out later, we would have been butt naked at that second cornerback position, to say the least. Like, we would have got completely wiped out if we would have set and passed up on it. So I feel like the Cowboys had to take Joseph at that point. But that's why you don't go into the draft back into a corner where you have to feel like you have to reach. It's like going to the grocery store hungry, right? Like, bro, you're going to the grocery store hungry and you're just grabbing stuff you really don't need, but you have to. So I'm okay with the Kelvin Joseph pick. He just has to lock in and be committed, because he is going to be expected to be CB2 day one, right? And Lord forbid if something doesn't work out and he has a bad camp or a rough, training camp and preseason, and the Cowboys feel like he's not ready, let's say he's the next Reggie Robinson, we are screwed, y'all. If Kelvin Joseph does not work out, we are screwed, man. So we got to pull for the kid. Like I said, man, first interception, I'm buying his rap album. I'll buy 5, man. I'll even send him a few beats, and I might even drop a feature on a few, because he can use my help. So shouts out to Kelvin Joseph, man. Like I said, it's a solid pick. I feel like at that point, the Cowboys really had well, they did have another option, but they had to kind of go with the cornerback. The next pick in the 3rd round, Osa Odighizuwa, defensive tackle out of UCLA. And I know when we sat back on day 2 watching this as a community, we were all just like, what? We all had the okay face, right? And y'all started to kind of feel like me. Y'all started to drag down like me, right? A little bit. But after watching Osa, right, I feel like Osa is going to be one of the strongest players outside of Parsons in this class. And the reason why I want to say this, let me go back to, let's see here. Let's go back. All right. So, what makes Osa Odighizuwa an amazing pick at this point for the Dallas Cowboys and what Dan Quinn is wanting to do, right? Because not only at 380 pounds, with his size and his length and athleticism, can he play the defensive tackle position, either or. He can play the 1, the nose, he can play the 3, you know what I'm saying? He can also play outside in. So if you think about it, what Osa can really do is he can play any position across this front four. And that's crazy. That's a tremendous value that we picked up in the third round to have that caliber player, because he's strong, he's physical, but he's also he's able to two gap, he's able to get in the backfield. I mean, he can really do it all. So I feel like he is going to be the Swiss Army knife of this defense, and you're going to see Diggy moved around this front four quite a lot, y'all, to be honest with you. Like, I think you're going to see him in multiple different sets, in multiple different positions, because he brings that value. He has toughness, tenacity, quick feet. He's a wrestler. He likes to rumble. Great pick, y'all. And like I said, this is one of those picks where we're just like, on that day two when that kind of happened. But looking back and seeing what it really did, we're just like, all right. And I think that's why it's important for me to kind of go for those some people who might still be on the ledge, right? The people who still want to kind of just jump, right? Don't jump. Look at me. Look at me, y'all. Tuck is now talking people off the draft ledge. Isn't that crazy? Don't jump, man. I was once you. I was up there with you, bro. You know. But I think that's what's important for a lot of people, is to see what is the end game and ultimately what is Dan Quinn trying to accomplish. And we were able to get that versatility, that size, that tenacity, that speed, also to be able to keep our linebacker clean that we just drafted in Micah Parsons. It's a tremendous value at that third pick, so I'm definitely okay with it. With taking Osa Odighizuwa out of UCLA. Like I said, he's going to be one of those guys. I can see him being, a second contract guy. He's going to be in Dallas for quite some time. The next pick we also took in the third round, Chauncey Golston. I think this one is another one. All right, we kind of took the Osa pick, took the Chauncey pick, and we're just like, all right, what the is going on here? All right. And so this is kind of when everyone started to slump back in their seats a little bit and just be like, I'm going to go grab another drink, right? And I feel like I was already tapped out by this. So, it's kind of a blur even when Chauncey got drafted. But I'll say this about Chauncey, man. When I went back and watched him and reviewed him, I like what he brings. I think he's very blue-collar, very lunch pail type player that's going to bring, that kind of work ethic, and kind of like that. I want to compare him to DeMarcus Ware at all, but he kind of has that personality, and I think he's going to be very blue-collar. Now, where he's going to fit in, he's going to probably play that right end position and kind of give that rotation to DeMarcus Lawrence, right? I don't think he's going to be, I don't think that he's going to be, being a linebacker that I see some people kind of move. I think he's going to be, pretty much spelling DeMarcus Lawrence, off that edge and giving DeMarcus Lawrence a break. And I think from what I've seen, he has a very high motor, y'all. Like, he has a very high motor. I love his bull rush. I love his tenacity to get to the ball. He flies to the tackle. Like, he reminds me kind of a Marinelli type guy. I think Rod Marinelli would love this kid, but a very high motor. He finishes the plays. Now, I'll say for an edge rusher, not the best bend, to kind of get around those tackles. He's not really that sharp and really fluid in his hips, but sometimes you just do what you got to do. Like, when I played linebacker, I wasn't the most fluid person, but I know how to just get to where I was trying to go sometimes. And I feel like that's what he has. He has a very high motor. He's great with the bull rush. And so I feel like Chauncey Golston will be a guy. He's going to kind of get, I don't know what we're going to do with Dorrance Armstrong yet, y'all. We'll kind of have to figure that out, but I think he's definitely going to be in the rotation heavily because he also gets some versatility. Why I kind of move him inside, I think he's going to be primarily like a 5-tech play on the outside. But like I said, he's going to be that kind of guy to spell and, give, DeMarcus Lawrence a break. And, if things kind of pan out, you never know how Stephen Jones might handle that DeMarcus Lawrence deal. So I definitely like Chauncey Golston out of Iowa. Like I said, this is the draft pick during the draft. We're kind of just like, meh, and then maybe you could consider it a reach. And here's what I'm going to say, y'all. a lot of people that watch my channel, you guys in the Star Gang groups, it's like this, right? We are kind of too savvy for our own damn good sometimes, and sometimes it's a gift and a curse. It's right. It's like I kind of give an analogy, right? I love steak, right? I love steak. I just had one the other day, just big, T-bone steak. There's been this whole thing on Twitter about barbecue and all that, going on. We all know Kansas City barbecue is the best, and when y'all come down here for the Chiefs game, I got y'all. But you love steak, right? But if you worked in a slaughterhouse, you might not be too high on eating beef, right? And I feel like that's what it was. From our standpoint, we knew too much about this draft, so we knew there were still very high caliber players available on the boards. We knew where some of these players were ranked and rated, and so things didn't make sense because we knew better. Some of the other Cowboys fans who don't know what's going on, they're just like, it's a defensive guy, defensive tackle, yay, he's going to help. And so they're very optimistic about it because they really don't do the research or be on shows for 7 hours or 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? You just got to kind of just go with the flow sometimes when it comes to this draft. And once I kind of just took my draft cap off and it became, from a fan's perspective, then it's like, okay, I can handle these and tolerate these picks a lot more than what I could do. Yeah, Mendoza, bro. If any of you guys, whether you're watching my show, whether you're watching the Star Gang show, or whoever you guys are following support, if you guys come down here for that Kansas City Chiefs game, I'm gonna throw a huge party Saturday night. Well, it depends. It depends on what time of the game. I'm throwing a huge party Saturday night if it's a Sunday night game, and then huge tailgate. But if y'all come in town, man, definitely hit me. I want to link up with you guys. We're gonna go get some real barbecue. It's going to knock your socks off, man. So definitely, I got you guys. It's on me, too, when you guys come down. Now, if you're kind of a new person, I really don't know you like that, you might be cool. But like Mendoza and, OO and MTC, if y'all come down for the game, y'all know I got y'all, man. So definitely, I can't wait for that schedule to be released because that's going to be a hot ticket. Me personally, I had to go create a Kansas City Chiefs ticket holder account yesterday. So I can maybe just pull the plug in and get those tickets on Thursday morning when they get launched. So, yeah, man. So it's going to be an interesting game. So I want to get into the next pick. And I think this is when everyone pretty much just threw their hat. It's like, all right, I'm done. Nateawn Wright. Now, shouts out to my guy, Matt Owen. He mentioned this guy a few times, where we're doing our late night mocks. We never took him, but like I said, I knew of him because I'm a Last Chance U addict. I watched Last Chance U. I love the last season, the basketball season. It's actually one of my favorite seasons. But if you watch the Laney season, his brother Rajon, who went to Oregon State as well, so you saw Nateawn Wright frequently. So I was like, okay, Nateawn Wright. Not once did it cross my mind like he would be a third pick for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, hell no. Because when Professor O mentioned it, I was like, okay, maybe that's kind of a 7th round guy you bring in, and it is what it is. But we took him in the 3rd. And I think this has kind of been the head scratcher for a lot of people, right? Because I feel like he's a project. Will he be day one ready? No. When will he be able to contribute, and where will he be able to contribute? It's been the question for a lot of Cowboys fans. Like, what is he going to do for us, right? And it's still kind of green. But I say with this, right? When it comes to Nateawn Wright, the size is there, the length is there, the speed is there, the athleticism is there. He can tackle. He's feisty. But as far as a pure cover corner, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So how is he going to work, y'all, for the Dallas Cowboys, right? How is he going to help this team? And what is Dan Quinn seeing when he picked Nateawn Wright with the 99th pick in the NFL draft? So I think what it really comes down to is the scheme, right? So where you might see Nateawn Wright, right, is in the slot corner position. All right, so we mentioned, Dan Quinn's going to play cover 3, right? He might play some man as well, but he's going to be primarily cover 3, right? So in cover 3, what you really have is you have your cornerbacks, they're dropping into the deep third, right? Boom, 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 right? You have your free safety. So this is all your deep thirds, right? They got everything, over the top. Now, if you play me in cover 3 on Madden, I'm going to carve you up, but it's just, play a deep third, right? And then where I think you're going to see Nateawn Wright is in the slot nickel position right here. And what his primary goal is underneath here, whether it's the flat, the out routes, or whatnot. So what he's not going to have to do, he's not going to have to turn his back and run with the slot receiver much, right? He's going to be eyeing the quarterback. He's going to be guarding his space, and with his length and athleticism, he can create tighter windows underneath. I think that's primarily where you're going to see, Nateawn Wright being used the most as far as a nickel corner in our cover 3 scheme to be able to drop, and to kind of create those tight throwing windows. Now, can he grow to be a true corner? Yes, it's there. But like I said, if he becomes a Pro Bowl caliber Richard Sherman, corner, we're going to saute this draft book and I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat the whole thing. I just don't see it. I think we might not even see Nateawn Wright even really peak until 3 to 4 years down the road. And by that time, Stephen Jones will have found another and has probably moved on. But you never know. And that's what I want to say, y'all. It's not about where these kids are drafted. It's what they do with their opportunity. You might get a case where Nateawn Wright is sitting back thinking, all right, everyone's slighting me. Everyone's saying I shouldn't be here. They reach for me. I'm locked in. I'm working. I'm grinding, right? When you might have another corner who was our, second round pick who might just be chilling, right? And so it's like, where you have Nateawn Wright is, and when you think about these draft picks, these players are now given an opportunity to now come and compete, because we've been speaking about this so highly, right? It's open season. It's open season as far as competition, the Dallas Cowboys, right? DeMarcus Lawrence is pretty much safe, and Trayvon Diggs is pretty much safe, right? So for the most part, it's open season. So if I'm a rookie coming in, I'm coming in to eat, because there's an opportunity I could be starting for the Dallas Cowboys. And so if Nateawn Wright takes this opportunity to run with it, then hats off to you, young fella. Rumble, young man, rumble, right? But I feel like there's going to have to be some work in progress before he gets to there. But I feel like he can definitely get to that point, man. Shout out to my guy, Bluff. Got 45 watching, only 18 likes. Everyone hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate all the support. Get those thumbs up. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties a little bit earlier, so it's probably like people at different other videos, man. I apologize for that, but I'm going to figure that out, man, because YouTube's being some haters. See, Mendoza said, I think he's going to be a nice zone cornerback. Yep. He has nice awareness and understanding route concepts. Yeah. I think that's what he's going to be, a zone guy, right? And I feel like he's going to be able to, plug in and just kind of play the underneath, watch the quarterback, not get too cute with him. Just watch his zone, use his size and his length and his athleticism. Like I said, for me personally, Madden 22, he's going to be playing my middle linebacker position. But that's a whole different story, because with that size and that length and that jump ratio, I'm going to be able to lurk across the middle and pick a lot of stuff off. I'm already on that, right? But I think that's kind of the concept from Dan Quinn's scheme, not as a middle linebacker, but as more of a, a slot or nickel corner, so he can use his athleticism and really cut off those throwing lanes. And then you have your, Joseph and Diggs over the top covering their deep thirds. So, yeah, so let's get into a lot of people's favorite pick, right? Jabril Cox, linebacker out of LSU, right? And, I'll say this about Jabril Cox. I felt like, me personally, watching the draft, right? I saw Jerry Jones come out. I saw, his grandson. It felt like the clouds removed, the sun came out, and we took Jabril Cox out of LSU. He played at North Dakota State. He's actually from here in Kansas City. He actually played out in Raytown, where actually Alden Smith is from. And I know when I said never trust somebody if they say they're from Raytown, maybe I'll change that about Jabril Cox a little bit. But trust me, Raytown, yeah, my son plays football in Raytown, and you got to keep your head on a swivel. But it's like, but Jabril Cox, man, I feel like he was a dynamic steal for the Dallas Cowboys to get him in the 4th round, because for the most part, I think he really only slid. And I really couldn't put my finger on it, because I was like, was there any, injuries? Was there anything kind of going on, circling around him? No, I think it's because he's not really, a linebacker that's going to help you much in the run game. He can tackle, but he's not going to come down and thump and hit with these big bodies. That's just not really his game. He's going to be strictly a coverage linebacker. And the crazy thing, and I've been saying this on Twitter, if you take Micah Parsons and you take Jabril Cox, and they were able to do the fusion dance like from Dragon Ball Z, they would become a Super Saiyan in one linebacker, man. But it's like, I need the coverage aspect of Jabril Cox merged into Micah Parsons, and then the run aspect and the blitzing aspect of Micah Parsons into Jabril Cox, and then you have a tremendous linebacker. But I feel like from Jabril Cox's standpoint, he's going to add some versatility, right? And so I want to go back to the field of play, because like I said, when I was thinking about this, y'all, Where is he going to fit? Now, will he fit early? I don't know. My guy Jeff Kavanaugh said that he predicts that Parsons and Cox will be the day one starters. And I was like, oh, I don't see that. But I think eventually down the road you could see that. I think that he's going like next year. I think he's the insurance policy for LVE, and then we'll have to see what we do for Jalen. But I want to kind of go back to the field of play in this nickel position, right? Where I think Jabril Cox will play is the middle linebacker in the nickel position because he's able to cover. So what I'm thinking that you'll probably see is you might see Jabril Cox, or it might be Keanu O'Neal here as far as coverage as well, or you might see Jabril Cox here as well. Now, at LSU, you did see Jabril Cox play a little nickel and play in the slot as well. Now, NFL level, those slot receivers are a lot different than what you'll probably see, but he has, the capability to cover depending on what the matchup is. So you might see Jabril Cox also play in the nickel position a little bit as well, but I think that he would kind of be the middle linebacker, in Dan Quinn's scheme when it comes to this nickel formation, or maybe he's going to be on the same position, maybe like drop into the flat, taking on the running back, or maybe covering this tight end as well. So I think that's where you're going to see Jabril Cox. I'd be perfectly fine matching up Jabril Cox over a linebacker or taking a running back in the backfield. And I'm a lot more confident in Jabril Cox doing that, y'all, than Jalen Smith or LVE. Because we all know those running backs drop out in the flat and get out in the space versus LVE. Those hips are tight and they can't get out there. It's like, it's really hard to do that. And so, I just don't think that's LVE and also Jalen's forte. I think Jalen Smith, he's decent in coverage and coming downhill. But as far as a one-on-one matchup, because Lord forbid, if we come out and play Atlanta and we have Jalen Smith or LVE lined up on that monster, no, we're not doing that. Reset button. Player has left the game. I'm conceding. I'm not doing that. Friendly quit. So I think that if we're going to have a coverage guy, I think Keanu O'Neal and Jabril Cox gives that coverage aspect. Now, I think Micah Parsons will probably be in the mix as well. But if you want true two cover guys, Jabril Cox and Keanu O'Neal will be there. I know Keanu O'Neal is really just on a one-year deal, so maybe that Jabril Cox is going to be that bridge, Keanu O'Neal is going to be that bridge until we get, Jabril Cox up to speed. But I would definitely see him in a lot of covers this season, man. David Johnson, man, enjoying the channel, my brother. Keep the great work. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. All the new subscribers, all the new followers, man, I deeply appreciate you guys' support. Like I said, I am dropping more videos, more content, more live shows, more guests. Catch me on Wednesday nights with my Star Gang family. Definitely check out their podcast channel as well. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties as well, so Facebook might not be getting it right now, but it is what it is. I got the family rocking with me. That's what's all important. Cox reminds me of Neal. He is very versatile. Yeah, and I think that's, what Dan Quinn saw in him, all right? He's kind of that Keanu O'Neal. And so what we had to sit back, Cowboys fam, and like I've been saying, if we're going to let Dan Quinn cook, all right, Dan Quinn, you got your spatula, you got your seasoning, you got your pepper, you got everything you need. Go cook. This is what you want. You got all your ingredients. Go cook. I know there was kind of talks that him and Will McClay were kind of road dogs. And so when Will McClay was kind of scouting these players, he knew what Dan Quinn's ingredients was and what he wanted to do to actually fix this defense and push things around the corner and get things moving the right direction. So, I'm going to trust the process, as my guy Joel Embiid, Rock Chalk, will say, trust the process when it comes to Dan Quinn, bringing him in and letting him get his guys. Now, the next pick, Josh Ball. I know there's been very controversial, topics around this kid, even including myself. But like I said, we're not going to focus on that tonight. We're just going to focus on the player. Now, I went back and I watched Josh Ball when he played for, from Florida State, when he played against Clemson, right? Because he played, when we had Blackman and also Cam Akers, and it wasn't the best, Blackman almost got killed that game. But he's solid. He has great size. He's physical. He's heavy-footed though. He's very heavy-footed though. But if he gets his hands on you, right, he finishes his plays a lot. So, going from, when he played at Florida State versus when he transferred to Marshall, I think that, he improved drastically. Now, where I think he'll fit in when it comes to Dallas Cowboys, I think that he'll be, swing tackle. I don't see him playing guard. A lot of people are like, oh, he can play guard and replace Connor Williams. Now, he's not a guard, y'all. He's a strictly a tackle. He might be more of a right tackle, to be honest with you, than a left tackle. But like I said, he has the size, he has the physicality, he finishes his blocks. He's just heavy-footed, so that's why I wouldn't put him at the left tackle position. So, I think he's going to be a rotational guy. I don't expect to see him, but we have a lot of talent in-house currently, whether you want to talk about Connor McGovern or Brandon Knight. And I know the Cowboys were kind of high on Terrence Steele. Maybe he takes Terrence Steele's job for that swing right tackle. We'll have to see how he does in camp. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Like I said, we'll probably watch him. But I don't think I said Mendoza said, yeah, that was every game for Blackman. Yeah, Blackman and also DeAndre Francois almost got killed behind that offensive line. That's what I was saying, y'all. Me and Mendoza are Knowles, right? And so for a player to get released as bad as our offensive line was, it had to be bad, bro, because our offensive line was they still are, they're getting better, but their offensive line was trash. Yeah, Mendoza says, nah, he's not a guard. I have him a swing tackle as well. Yeah, I think he's going to be a swing tackle, man. I think that's where you'll see him. He'll be competing for a job. And like I said, the Cowboys were kind of high on Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele did get a full season of being a starting right tackle in the NFL, so you really can't combat versus that experience. So it really depends on if Terrence Steele's going to take a leap forward. But I think that you'll see, Ball on the final roster as the swing tackle. So we'll see. Matt Owen says, tall and lanky, he get eaten alive inside. I agree. Yeah, right tackle is lane. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, they just see, oh, he's big, he can play guard. Like, that's when it comes down to educating yourself. It's really kind of knowing the game of football. You can't just plug anybody at any position. Like, oh, he's big, he can play guard. He's big, he can play. No, it doesn't work that way, y'all. Like, you really got to have intangibles. You got to have the footing, the leverage, everything to play these different positions. And that's why a guy like Rashawn Slater, who was so high on, he was so valued because he can play both, because he has the physicality to play not only left tackle, right tackle, but also play left guard or right guard as well. And so that's a tremendous value that the Chargers got. For the Chargers, they must watch my show, right? Because the Chargers really just kind of just took my draft and ran with it. But it is what it is, man. We'll see him. We'll see the Chargers soon, man, and say what's up. What's up, my guy? Jesse, what's going on, bro? Let's be honest. Heading into the playoffs, if this team is playing well and Tyron goes down, they are kicking Martin to tackle and playing McGovern and Williams at guard. Yeah, I think that's the case, man. I think if we really had to, break in case of an emergency, I think that, Zach Martin proved that he could play right tackle and we could be perfectly just fine. Now, granted, do I want him playing right tackle? No, but if that's the case, I'm okay with that, because I feel like we have more than enough layers in-house with experience, just as you mentioned with Connor McGovern. Also you got, like I said, you got Brandon Knight as well. So we have some rotational pieces that we can plug in. I think Ball kind of adds to that layer as well. So yeah, absolutely, man. So hopefully, are we good? We're good. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, so I think that's where it happened. So let's go on to the next pick, and this has kind of been a fun one, man. And this is Simi Fehoko, wide receiver out of Stanford. Now, this was a guy that we mocked quite a few times, right? We spoke about very highly on this kid, man. I know that, my guy Nix was high on him. Matt, you were high on him as well. We always had the conversation kind of like in the 5th or 6th round. Was it going to be Simi? Was it going to be Anthony Schwartz? Anthony Schwartz and my guy Tutu Atwell, they went a lot higher than I expected. They did. But once that kind of happened, we were able to pull Simi in the 5th round, and that was an absolute steal. Now, we had this conversation last night, right? Does he make the final roster? And I'm going to say yes, he does. He does. He makes the final roster. I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are going to keep 6 wide receivers on this roster. I feel like if he's going to replace anyone, and I know my guy Nick said that Cedric Wilson, we could save $2 million if we move on from him. I just think that Ced brings too much value from the special teams position, but also so does Noah Brown. And we know how the Dallas Cowboys love special teams, right? They've been making a lot of special teams move this offseason. I just don't see them moving on from Ced and Noah Brown. So I think that we keep 6 on this roster. But I think what Simi brings is he brings, I've been calling him that Michael Gallup insurance policy. He's another big physical, fast body. He can do a lot of things in space. He can also return kicks. He's going to be kind of a Swiss Army knife. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Dallas Cowboys use Simi in this offense. But I think once we kind of see his capabilities, I think Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy are going to think like, all right, we can do a whole lot more with this kid than we're currently doing. So, he's definitely a player I would definitely circle on my preseason to watch guy list, camp watch if you guys are going to camp. I'm so undecided if I'm going to camp because I don't know what the hell's going on, if we're going to have it or not. So I feel like by the time we get the news, it's going to be too late to book it because all the hotels are just gone for the whole month of July at Oxnard. They're wiped out, y'all. But I feel like he's definitely someone to keep your eye on in camp. And I feel like Cowboys fans are going to gravitate to him instantaneously. We're already seeing on Twitter, man, the way that he interacts, the way that he talks to us, the way that, he's already a part of Cowboys Nation. He is like getting graphics done by some of the people I know on Twitter. Like he's doing a lot of things, man. So I'm pretty sure that Simi is going to make that final roster and definitely bring some value to this wide receiver core. Lokes44, what's up, my hitter? What's up, bro? Got to rep the hitters, man. Shout out to all my hitters, man. My Kansas hitters, my Cali hitters, man. I can't wait to link up with y'all, man. So I appreciate all y'all rocking with me. So let's go on to the next pick, man. This is another favorite, man. I know this has kind of been my guy Nix's pet cat. Quinton Bohanna out of Kentucky, defensive tackle. So going back to it, let's go back to it. Let's get right. It's here. Where Bohanna is, he's that big body nose, right? That big body nose we've been wanting for so long in Dallas. It's that big guy right here that can line up, and when I just play football, I just say, smell his breath. That's the 0, or he can play the 1, or he can also shade over as well. But where he's going to be is right here over the center, and his job is either to eat up the center block or also take up a double team between the center and this guard so that our linebackers can flow freely. And for some of you guys that don't know, like A gap, B gap, C gap, or whatnot. So you got to keep the bodies clean. And here's what I always say, y'all. Like, think of it in this space, right? Think of it as the defensive line is the offensive line for the linebackers, right? You got to keep us clean, right? Me personally, when I play linebacker, if you were a guard or a tackle and you got up to me, I was done. I hate that. Don't touch me, bro. Don't get your hands off of me. I was kind of like Jabril Cox. I was more of a lighter side linebacker. I could cover. I can come downhill a little bit. But once I get those guards' hands on me, I'm hammed up. They under my shoulder pads. I'm not doing all that, bro. I'm not doing all that. So that's why you got to keep our linebackers clean. And that's really going to be what the big bodies are really equipped to do when it comes to Quinton Bohanna, Brett Urban, those type of players, what Poe was supposed to do last year. And I feel like Bohanna is definitely that guy. I think someone even said that on Twitter. I think that my guy Skywalker tweeted him, and then one of the linebackers that actually played at Kentucky is like, yeah, he keeps us clean, and that's why Jamin Davis and the other linebacker, I forgot who it was, they're able to flow and create plays because the gaps are clear because he's up there eating up space, and that's all he's going to do. He's not going to be sexy. You're not going to see him getting sacks and all this stuff, chaos in the backfield, but he's going to be eating up blocks, taking up double teams, allowing our linebackers to flow, and allowing that monster and Micah Parsons to flow. If he allowed Jamin Davis to flow, imagine him allowing Micah Parsons to flow. That's nasty, and so he's definitely going to do his job. Now, I know a lot of people are saying that he's not going to make the final roster. If he doesn't make the final roster, y'all, I'm going to be upset. He's not a practice guy. Like, we need this big body. You need big bodies in rotation because a lot of these big bodies, like I said yesterday, you're always seeing them running off the field in rotation because it's not going to be consistency because they're big. They're 300 plus 30 pounds. Like, they're going to be tired. They're going to be exposed and winded. But what you need them is for those explosive plays, especially in the run game, to eat up those blocks. Now, when it comes to the nickel position, you're going to see more of the kind of the leaner guys, that can move a little bit more than Tristan Hills, even Gallimore, and maybe also Osa as well. Because Osa, he's a big body. He can do little body things, right? So it's like, that's the thing about Osa that, like I said, the value with him. But you're going to see, Bohanna just being a space guy, lined up, smelling the breath of the center, and is clogging up space, taking up double teams, allowing our linebackers to flow. So I definitely expect to see this guy on the roster. If he's on the practice squad, y'all, I'm coming unglued. The next pick, right, Israel Mukamura, all right? So we talked so much about J.C. Horn, right? His partner in crime on the other side, we decided to draft him, Israel Mukamura, now out of South Carolina. Now, it's kind of hard to gauge him because he did play some safety at South Carolina when we go back and watch the film, but he also played corner. So he's going to be one of those project guys who we are transitioning from cornerback to safety, right? And we've all kind of known how those experiments kind of just blown up. Oh, Mukwamu, that's it. Mukwamu, my bad. Yeah, you're gonna need a whole like Google voice dialogue to kind of say some of these players' names. You're like, who is that? Like, can you imagine like walking to the stadium and have Odighizuwa on the back of your jersey? That's not flight. That's not fresh, though. I can't rock like that. But Mukwamu, right? But yeah, I mean, he's another guy who has size. What's up to my guy Rome, Cowboys fan talk? Yeah, big size. Another guy, he has some athleticism with him. Now, at the free safety position, y'all, I'm not sure how it's really going to work. It's going to take some time. And then you got to think about the free safety position is already clogged back there. You got Curse, who we brought in. You have KZ. You have the whole Reggie Robinson, who's kind of a pet project, cornerback to safety type thing in his house. I've been hearing conversations of maybe Jay Lou flying back to free safety. Personally, right now, I need Jay Lou at corner. Because Jay Lou is like one of the few guys I can kind of hold my head on the secondary. I just need him playing. I need him playing in a cornerback position. So I think that he's going to be just playing in free safety and playing that over top, that single high. Let me go back to it so I can show those who might not. Let's see here. Yeah. So where he'll be is probably the single high guy in the free safety, right? So you have your corners playing down. Right, you'll have your free safety, like I said, in the cover 3. He has the deep third, middle thirds right here. But then also, if you're playing man press or a cover 1, he's just kind of floating over the top in space. And that's why we keep saying, like, we say to Darius Washington, a land shark. We need some guy that can cover in space because we need a guy who can be over here that quickly shift over here, if need be, right? And that's when we say a land shark because you can cover a lot of space back here. If you get a guy who's stiff, and this is boss man right here, and he's getting toasted, and this guy is hauling slowly like he's walking in quicksand trying to get over, it's a wrap, right? So you can't have that. You need to have a guy who can play this deep safety and that can cover. And so when you say a land shark, that's what we're really meaning, y'all, where we try to break that down for you guys, trying to get you guys accustomed to what's really going on. So we use a lot of slang terms, and a guy, call him Izzy, right? The guy Matt Owen says, ball skills, though, he has some ball skills. I understand, I think that, you said the big nickel. So the big nickel, what you're pretty much doing, we saw the nickel package, you're pretty much getting a bigger guy at that slot position. So whether it's a strong safety, but now they're coming out of the strong safety position, they might be using some of these taller corners, whether it's Nateawn Wright or also Mukwamu. Yeah. Israel Mukwamu. Did I say that? Like Israel Mukwamu. Yeah, so I think that's where he's going to play, but I think it's really going to find out how is he actually fit in the scheme of things. Like I said, it's starting to get clustered if he's going to play a free safety position. So, it'd be interesting to see what Dan Quinn has in store. Like I said, for him, he's going to be a project, but he has things there. Like Matt Owen says, he has ball skills. It's there. But just, when will it actually kick on at the NFL level? I really don't expect him to come in day one, having type of impact. It's going to be something down the road, maybe year 2, year 3, we'll actually see this kid fully develop. But just with that, mold of clay you got with that specimen, also him with Nateawn Wright, if Dan Quinn is able to be a magician and actually work things out, he can definitely make things happen with this mold of clay that he has through Nateawn Wright and also Israel Mukwamu. And then last but not least, we have Matt Farinock. I think I'm saying that right. Matt, help me off. I'm butchering that name as well. But guard out of the University of Nebraska. He has the intangibles. Big Ten schools, they always have that intangibles. It's blue collar, bluegrass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just what he really represents. He has nice size. He's smart. He has the intangibles. He's going to play a guard, not tackle. He'll be a guard, probably a left guard or right guard. I think that he'll be competing, you know what I'm saying, just for a roster spot. He might be a practice squad guy, to be honest with you guys. He might not fully make the roster. But like I said, once you get to Oxnard, it is what it is. If you bang out and you earn your position, I feel like, you know, this Cowboys team, way Mike McCarthy, whether it's offensively and also defensively, if you earn your spot, you earn your spot. We always say, you know, earn the star, earn the star, earn the star. But it really hasn't really been earn the star. It's earn the star, but if you already paid, you're good. Everybody else got to earn the star. But I think defensively, it's really going to be like earn the star. We might see a lot of kids out there in preseason, also at camp, just getting a lot of reps, and actually just banging out, doing things that we weren't accustomed to seeing. But I think that's good. I think it's going to bring the best out of a lot of guys who's already been in-house. From the standpoint of Jalen Smith and the LVEs we talked about so frequently, y'all, it's like, all right, that linebacker room's getting a little bit tight, you know what I'm saying? So you really have to come with it, because Dan Quinn, you're not his guy, right? You're not Dan Quinn's guy. I don't know you. You don't fit what I'm trying to do. You know, I got more guys in house that's kind of more of my mold. I'm going to roll with these guys, and so I feel like what that's going to do, you're going to see, you know, a step up in the right direction from Jalen Smith, and I'll also say from Van Der Esch as well. So, you know, kind of putting a ribbon on this draft. And what's up, my guy Tyler? What's up in the house? So what's up, Tuck? Dropping by for a second to leave a like and comment and remind people to sub if they haven't. I appreciate you, my guy. Like I said, Tyler, when everybody comes for the Chiefs game, bro, we gotta take them out to barbecue, because there's been this whole beef about Texas barbecue is better than Kansas City barbecue. So we're just gonna take them to. I can't decide if I want to take them at Joe's first and just give them the whole experience out the gate, or should I kind of warm them up and maybe toss them a Gates a little bit, or you know what I'm saying, or maybe a Q39 plate here and there, and then just slap them across with the Joe's. We'll see. But something to my guy Tyler. My guy Bluff says these long arm defensive tackles are going to expose Fairnock in practice. He let guys get into his chest too easily. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, when you're an offensive guard or also a tackle as well, you don't want to get caught into your chest, right? And that's why Dan Quinn, you know, likes to have the long arms, because what you're able to do is push and extend, right? And you can use your leverage, right? And so you create that distance and create that space. And then typically what happens is you can either, you know, we call it, push, pull, push, pull, rip. You know what I'm saying? Move you can do. So once you're able to engage with the tackles or offensive guards or even the center as well with these long arms and keep their shorter arm guys off of you in their chest, it gives you so much leverage from a defensive standpoint in the defensive line. So I think that's what Dan Quinn is wanting. And that's what he saw in a lot of these guys that he brought in. So perfect segue. Moving chances. I'm already in. Message you, J-Tech. I'll be there. Okay. All right, MCC, I got you. When you come to Kansas City, we're going to go just get some barbecue. Like I said, we might dress it up a little bit. I'm not sure if I want to smack you guys out the gate as soon as you get off the plane or as soon as you drive in town and have your stomachs all full and, you know, with gate sauce all over your face and whatnot. But we'll see. We'll see how things going to work. But we'll definitely talk more about that Kansas City game as we get closer. Like I said, we're going to try to throw a huge party, huge tailgate, all that fun stuff. And hopefully we don't get dog walked out of Arrowhead Stadium. But I'll say this, y'all. Arrowhead Stadium is one of the best football atmospheres you can ever experience. Like, it's going to be night and day from what Cowboys fans are used to. And so it's going to be, you know, there's not going to be no leather seats out there. It's not, you know, it's going to be grit, grind, stand the entire game. You can sneak I've snuck in bottles of Ciroc in the Arrowhead. Like, it's completely different Arrowhead, man. So we'll definitely have a fun time when that game happens. But yeah, I want to tie a ribbon on this draft. You know, everyone, like I said, looking at it from a clear-eyed view, you know, as I kind of decompress, thought about what Dan Quinn's trying to do as far as the scheme-wise, took out all the other factors of who was there and off-the-field issues and different things like that, and is focused on the scheme and how these players can help, I would have to overall give this draft a B+. Tuck, you said, I'm saying I'm taking out everything else, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like on Instagram, right? It's like sometimes you see someone and they might have a bunch of filters and stuff and like really, really cute and really pretty. All right. But then sometimes they take that filter off and it's like, yeah, right. I'm putting the filter on this draft class, right? And so it's like, all right. So when you think about it from a player perspective, right, what Dan Quinn is trying to accomplish, what we already have in house, right? and the versatility that this defensive class brings, I think that this draft class is more of a B plus than a C that I was kind of giving them, right? Like I said, you're going to have, I would say, 5 rotational guys. And I see the emoji, Matt, and I see the emoji. And right, and here's my problem. When I went into the draft, and we all went in the draft, we were thinking starters. I was thinking we could have came out with 3 to 4 great starters. Boom, we handled our business. We didn't need 11 picks. We're done. We're out. We got 3 to 4 great quality guys that's going to start day one and be done with it. We didn't do that. Instead, what the Dallas Cowboys focused on was depth and rotation, which is also a need in Dallas. Like I can't lie and say it's not a need, because we all know if DeMarcus Lawrence was to happen to go down, oh, we screwed, bro. We screwed defensively, right? As soon as LVE gets hurt, or as soon as, Sean Lee used to get hurt, all right. All right, we got no linebackers. We're going to roll with Francis Bernard, you know what I'm saying? We have to work with Gifford, or Joe Thomas. And so I feel like what we're doing is we have kind of our layer guys, whether it's the Jalen Smiths, LVEs, the Marcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, maybe Neville Gallimore. But you're going to have a lot more bodies that are quality in rotation. So I feel like that's where the value really came in. So I think that you'll have Joseph being a day one. You'll have starter. You'll have Micah Parsons being a day one starter. But you'll see Osa getting a lot of reps. You'll see Golston getting a lot of reps. And I probably will be mid-season-ish, splashing here and there. You'll see, Jabril Cox. And I'll be kind of interested in see how they're working with Nateawn Wright. But then you also got to add in Simi Fehoko as well, as far as with the special teams, and then also with the offense as well. So, I feel like we got a lot of depth in this draft, which a lot of people aren't considering. It's like, we wanted toys, because I feel like last year, we got spoiled last year, right? We got CeeDee Lamb, we got Diggs, we got, Gallimore, we got, Biotis. It was just like boom, 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 boom. But now we got some guys who we're really not going to see. But once we start to get those dog days of November and December, and things start to wear down, especially with that extra game, you'll start to see this draft really start to have its impact, hopefully. So, like I said, I'm more optimistic now, once I kind of cooled down, took everything out of the picture, really just kind of focus on what Dan Quinn's wanting to do and what we have in-house. And so I could give it a B+, man. So, we're at the point, there's no going back. That's what I've been trying to say, Cowboys fam. There's no turning back at this point. We got to sit down and get ready, because it sounds like, tomorrow, we'll probably hear about this on Twitter probably around breakfast tomorrow. But, we've been hearing conversation that we're going to play Tampa first game. So now it's really just how to get prepared for week 1 and beating Tampa. I know a lot of people talk to me. I'm going to try to get down in that game. I was already supposed to be in Miami that weekend, so I might just take there and drive from South Beach and go to Tampa. But we'll see. But if that's the opening game, man, we know how it's going to be. Super Bowl champs, Tom Brady, offense. Their defense is still intact. They brought everyone back. So I think that's going to be a big game to really test the Cowboys' fortitude to see where we're at. And so some of these guys are going to be ready to go, day one. Boss man Parsons, be ready to go day one. Like I said, I feel like Micah Parsons can be the spark plug for this young core. Once we go into rookie camp, I think rookie camp starts next week, y'all. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think rookie camp starts next week. But I feel like it's on Parsons. This team that we're looking at, these guys right now that we're looking at, these are Parsons guys. And the reason why I said that, everyone's like, what? It's up for Parsons to set the new tone at camp, right? He needs to come out. He needs to be showing the work ethic. He needs to be in the weight room. He needs to be grinding film. He needs to be the Sean Lee of the new era. Because this Micah Parsons is who the young core is going to follow. They're not going to follow Jalen Smith and LVE. Y'all almost out of here, bro. We were brought in to replace y'all. I'm not following you. You know what I'm saying? So Micah Parsons really needs to come out, set the tone, show how things need to become. So May 14th. So we're almost there. Yeah, May 14th. And so, yeah, I think Micah Parsons to come out, set the tone for this young core. And I think they're going to rally around that. I think if he sets the tone, you'll start to see, Kelvin Joseph kind of getting his swagger on. You'll see Osa doing things, and they can kind of be this how Dak and Zeke was in 2016 for the offense, we need that defensively from Micah Parsons, Kelvin Joseph, and also Osa Odighizuwa, man. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. I appreciate all the support, sticking with me throughout the technical difficulties. I gotta figure out. And here's the thing: Restream, they'll charge me on time, right? They'll charge me for that $20 a month. But when things go wonky, I can't get a phone call. But we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to Restream, man. But I appreciate all the support, man, for everyone tuning in. Whether it's my channel, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the support, man. I appreciate you guys for riding with me and supporting me. Not only me, but also the Star Gang family as well. Like I said, they had a fiesta Monday night. I was like, nah, not on a Monday night. Nah, bro. I'm out. But I appreciate all the support. You guys rocking with me, like I said. And if you guys like, the breakdowns and stuff, I want to bring some other guys on. I know, Mendoza's sharp. My guy Bluff is, sharp. When we kind of get into these, like, dark days of no NFL, no football, no news, maybe we come on and just start talking down some concepts where it's football related, where we can take the complexity of the football world and break things down in simple form where the common person can understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's going to help a lot of people because, like I said, we take it for granted. We come here, he's going to play the one, he's going to play the nose, he needs to play the, the Leo position, the wide nine. They're just sitting there like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, but I feel like once we can start breaking down these concepts and kind of, giving things, I'm like, I play linebacker, so I know what the linebackers are doing, but, my roommate, he was one of those pretty boy cornerbacks, like had all the flashy stuff on there. He was kind of like Nateawn Wright, skinny and, couldn't tell him nothing. So, yeah, so I feel like, great show, Tucky, redeemed yourself, appreciate it. Morris, great show, great live, my guy, I appreciate you guys, awesome show, Mendoza, great show. I appreciate you guys, like I said, man, I have fun doing this. You guys keep me going, man, you guys keep me thriving, man. Like I said, I'm just getting back to basics, y'all. I'm just getting back to doing what I started this channel for, and that's really just to have great Cowboys fans and talk great Cowboys content. I know I've been kind of getting pulled in so many different directions. I've really been forgetting about the core, what really brought me here. So never let anyone take your joy from anything that you do and that you love to do, man. Just focus on that. And yeah, continue to do that, man. So I appreciate all support. If you haven't already, comment, like, subscribe, turn that notification bell as well. Also subscribe to the Star Gang podcast channel with my family as well. And also go to cowboysfansonly.com. Get your CFO merch. I got something for y'all this weekend, y'all. So the pitch shirts are still up, but we're gonna remix and do a few different things up there. So definitely check that out, man. And I'm gonna drop some discount codes and just stay tuned, man. Like I said, we're having fun. I appreciate the support. The channel is growing tremendously. I appreciate everyone for rocking with me. I can't say that enough, man. And even through this draft season, I want to say this, right? Even though we were kind of, I personally, I was kind of chippy draft season, right? But it wasn't a knock to you guys. It was from the outsiders who felt like what we were doing on our live shows was just guessing the picks, right? We were just guessing the picks and telling you who the Cowboys are going to take so-and-so. No, we were just laying out options. So we get a lot of people who's just like, but you never joined into the chat. You never joined into our videos. You never, stayed up until 3 a.m. watching a live stream with us to know that we were all kicking around different ideas. It was never what my idea was, and it was also never what Nick's and Spoonie's ideas or Mariella. We also as a group would sit back and say, okay, what do you guys think? So we did this as a community, and that's what it's all about, the community. And so when people start knocking us and start knocking the community, I personally take offense to that. I'm like, nah, you're not going to slight people who do the hard work. There's a lot of work that goes into this, man. So I just want to say that I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Definitely check out my guy Bluff City Cowboys, bro. He dropped a video the other day that was just fire too as well, breaking down the draft and the concept. Bluff, I'm gonna get you on when you're free, man. We can go over it again as well. Talk about a few things, man. If you guys want someone who is just knowledgeable, who knows his stuff, who knows the game of football, you know what I'm saying, just a solid guy, follow Bluff City Cowboys. He's right there. I'll definitely post his his channel in the chat as well, man. But great guy, great concepts, man. Everything. Like I said, what we would start getting back to, I think, as content creators, it's just making people understand the game of football, right? It is what it is, man. So I appreciate all your support. I want everyone out there to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. Let me ask y'all this before I go. Y'all think we gonna play Tampa opening game, or y'all think it's somebody else? Let's leave with that, because it is schedule E, right? And if I had to pick, I said the Tampa game does make sense because what bigger boon than having that? Oh, Keith, man, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the super chat, man. $3 donation. I appreciate that, bro. So I was just trying to set this whole thing where like the super chats come in and it goes crazy and the bells ring. I don't know what the hell's happening today, man. But I appreciate the support, Keith. I appreciate that, man. And then also appreciate you, Bluff, man. Keep doing your thing, bro. Yeah, Mendoza think it's Tampa. I think it's Tampa too, because if there's any way for the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL to make a big splash, oh, there it is. There it is. All right, here you go. It just takes a while to kick in. It takes a while to kick in, man. So, So, I appreciate all the support, man. So, I think it's going to be Tampa. I think it's going to be Tampa because, like you said, push the ratings up. You got the Super Bowl champs coming in, right? You know what I'm saying? You got Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott returning. What more can you ask for to boost those ratings? Because the NFL is going to try to get every damn dime they missed out on last year. So I'll say Tampa, man. So definitely tune in tomorrow night. We're going to be going through the schedule release. I think it's going to be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But we know on Twitter, we're probably going to know, like I said, by breakfast, man. So I appreciate all you guys. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace out.